said Snape softly. His black eyes were alight with malsae. Don't go blaming Dumbledore for Potter's determination to break rules. He has been crossing lines ever since he arrived here. Thank you, Severus, said Dumbledore. Firmly the Snape went quiet, though his eyes still glinted malevolently through his curtain of greasy black hair. Professor Dumbledore was now looking down at Harry, who looked right back at him. Tried to discern the expression of the eyes behind the half-moon spectacles. Did you put your name into the Goblet of Fire, Harry? Dumbledore asked, claiming. No, said Harry. He was very aware of everybody watching him closely. Snape made a soft noise of impatient disbelief in the shadows. Did you ask an older student to put it into Goblet of Fire for you? Said Professor Dumbledore, ignoring Snape. No, said Harry vehemently. Oh, but of course he's lying, cried Madame Maxim. Snape was no shaking his head, his lip curling. He could not have crossed the age line, said Professor McGonagall sharply. I'm sure we are all agreed on that. Dumbledore must have made a mistake with the line, said Madame Maxim, shrugging. It is possible, of course, said Dumbledore politely. Dumbledore, you know perfectly well you did not make a mistake, said Professor McGonagall angrily. Really, what a nonsense! Harry could not have crossed the line himself, and as Professor Dumbledore believes that he did not persuade an older student to do it for him, I'm sure that should be good enough for everybody else. She shot a very angry look at Professor Snape. McGrouch, McBagman, said Karkaroff, his voice unctuous once more. You are our objective judges. Surely you will agree that this is most irregular? Bagman whipped his round, boyish face with his handkerchief and looked at McGrouch, who was standing outside the circle of the firelight, his face half hidden in shadow. He looked slightly ill, the half darkness making him look much older, giving him an almost school-like appearance. When he spoke, however, it was in his usual curt voice. We must follow the rules, and the rules state clearly that those people whose names come out of the Goblet of Fire are bound to compete in the tournament. Well, Bertie knows the rule book back to front, said Bagman, beaming and turning back the Karkaroff and Madame Maxim, as though the matter was now closed. I insist upon resubmitting the names of the rest of students, said Karkaroff. He had dropped his uncouth tone, and he smiled now. His face wore a very ugly look indeed. You will set up the Goblet of Fire once more, and we will continue adding names until each school has 2 champions. It's only fair, Dumbledore. But Karkaroff, it doesn't work like that, said Bagman. The Goblet of Fire just gone out. It won't reignite until the start of the next tournament, in which Darmstadt will most certainly not be competing, exploded Karkaroff. After all, our meetings and negotiations and compromises, I little expected something of this nature to occur. I have half mind to leave now. Empty threat, Karkaroff, growled a voice from near the door. You can't leave your champion now. He's got to compete. They have all got to complete. Binding magical contract, like Dumbledore said. Convenient, eh? Moody had just entered the room. He leaned toward the fire, and with every right step he took there was a loud clink. Convenient? Said Kakarov. I'm afraid I don't understand you, Moody. Harry could tell he was trying to sound disdainful, as though that Moody was saying was barely worth his notice, but his hands gave him away. They had belled themselves into fits. Don't you? Said Moody quaintly. It's very simple, Kakarov. Someone put Potter's name in the goblet knowing he'd have to complete if it came out. Evidently someone wished to give Hogwarts 2 bites at the apple, said Madame Maxim.